Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the semifinals of the SpyParty Summer Cup. We're down to the last four. Man, oh man, it's going to be a great night. My name is Taboshi. I am joined today by Slappy Davis.
Hello, so excited for these matches. I forgot that we actually have two because we're jumping into the live game first.
Indeed. And we've got Legorv Janine acting as our host and observer this evening. So yeah, first game is live. It's been a while since we've done this, and it's going to be a great time. It's OpiWrites versus Rov.
And we're just jumping straight into it. Are we pausing at the start of this one?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Sorry, I guess even for autoplay next. There we go. Sorry, I'm back at the start.
All right. Shall we? I guess we're just getting into it then? Sounds good to me. You guys know what's up by this point. Let's just jump right on into this. OpiWrites on the sniper. Rov on the sniper. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. It's gallery first. Any 4 of 8.
And it's always really interesting.
That's a very quick flirt and run off the top of the game, and into the green bookcases we go. 51% to start. And immediately comes out with it. This is so cheeky. I love it.
Yeah, and actually, I'm curious if part of the bump in and out is if they got seen, they'll be back where they were before, and it might look like they never really left. This is kind of, Opie really buys into the blending into the background and resetting the position where you were if you wanted to not be seen going somewhere. Really likes going into green bookshelf with Irish, blue and green as teal, that sort of stuff. So very intentional play, but only really had the opportunity to do it because we started next to our seduction target in the back conversation right at the start of the game.
Speaking of seduction target, that's the flirt done already with still 3 minutes to play, and we're into the blue bookcase getting ready to slam this book down. This is very fast for OpiWrites. That's 2 missions done and no heat yet as far as we can tell. In conversation with the double agent now, but this is looking good.
Oh my god, we're doing red purloin!
Oh dear, it's a red test on the purloin!
And the red.
He's not looking.
We're zoomed in. We're not zoomed in.
He's already got the countdown. He did the contact as well. 5 seconds. Rov, for obvious reasons, shows no interest in shooting, and that's game 1 in the books.
I mean, so obviously that was the one way we lose that game is if there's a red purloin, right? Because white purloin, we probably wait and try to narrow it down and whatnot. But red is the one time you can just honestly just immediately shoot. It's so easy to tell. But we just weren't zoomed in because the take was so early in the game. Counterintuitive to take that early, but we get away. And I guess the great thing about that is because of the high pace, a normally just dead to rights spy gets to win.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, zoomed out, so didn't get a super good look at the fade. Oh man, what a game. That is a heck of a way to start this thing off, and because of spectation delay, they're playing the second game right now. We get to see it as soon as they're done, but they're not done yet. They're still in there.
Yeah, let's look at where Rob just happened to be looking during the purloin. Okay, so the purloin goes off right here. So it's before. The other thing is it was before the contact. So I was figuring if he was going to purloin, he'd contact before and then purloin right during it. We actually do the purloin first. And so the flashing he was just zoomed in. Like if he had zoomed in on general for just a second more, it looks like he was zoomed in on general. Actually, wait. When does the contact come off?
Right after the purloin happens.
He starts doing it. Oh no, okay. I was trying to figure out if he was getting lowlights off of the purloin because he couldn't tell if it was a white or a red test, and he started deleting. But actually, he did start. He moved back a little bit after the purloin, and then started taking lowlights right after the banana bread, just at a reflex. Interesting start and just super risky.
Yeah.
But I mean, I say risky, but again, that's kind of the thing is the one worst thing that could have happened basically at that point would have been something like a red swap or a red purloin, and it happened, but because of the pace, it just didn't matter at that point.
Yeah. It looked like he may have gotten a glance at the fade, but zoomed out before he had a chance to see it fade back in again.
Yeah. And the other thing is something that I think Rav should maybe kind of learn from this, except for obviously the fact that Opie just throws in rushes sometimes, is that Opie does not take bad banana breads. When that kind of a banana bread happens, alarms should have been going off in Rav's head, not oh yippee lowlights, because that is not like Opie to take a super like an awful banana bread, right? That's covering for something. Hopefully Rav picks that up.
Yeah, absolutely. Usually it's not covering for the literal end of the game that early on, but still, it's a very good point to make.
True. And I guess like it could be offering up something, but then again, just like of Opie in particular, that early in the game too. But it's hard to. Okay, we got next game, but it'll be a little bit suspicious, and hopefully Rob kind of responds in that way. But it's also we're only up one game, so anything can happen.
All right, from the top, let's get this thing started in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Rav on the spy side this time around, with Opie on the sniper, and the first flirt's going to come on the outside this time. Another quick flirt and go as Opie is zoomed in, doing the start of game housekeeping, so that's effectively a free green flirt.
Yeah, and I don't know if Opie spends all that much time guarding flirt on this one, because he will not have paired Kane in general at all, because he got out of there immediately. But I think that on gallery, Opie's got other stuff to watch that he's not gonna worry too much about the pairing. But just for pacing alone, because like for example, that last game couldn't really have come together the way that it did without the two green flirts immediately. So we'll see if Rob is going to open up that kind of option for himself.
We're almost able to get the second flirt just in the back conversation here. The section target was being kind for a moment, but steps away pretty much as soon as we enter. We're still in conversation with the double agent, so this is still a useful conversation to be in, but a lot less so now that the seduction target's gone.
Yeah, and we... Interesting. All right. Well, so one of the so Kane has become just like this super meta pick on gallery, which is weird to me because Kane he's got a really good standing bug. It happens to also be on his left side, so that reverse bugs on gallery are one of the more dependable bugs that you have in the game, and they're important to a lot of people's game. But other spies have pretty good standing bugs. Generals is more of a really solid walking bug. He also has a pretty good reverse bug. It's not as strong as Kane's. We don't go for it here, but bug has just become such a big part of gallery that there's such scrutiny applied to some of these characters.
Out to the blue bookcase to try to finish up this flirt. Unfortunately, can't hit the green test, so it's only 85%. But we do still get a book in hand, so we might be able to make something happen with that too. Just under 2 minutes to play at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately, General will stand out even if there's cover in the front, the back CC. So not surprised to see nothing happen there. Actually, I'm a little surprised we actually went right up next to Kane so soon. If Opie's doing any sort of tracking, bookcase to following the person you're next to at bookcase out of conversation circle can fire off some alarms for some snipers. But if Opie's not really worried about that, it's not going to be a problem, of course.
Especially because he didn't even need to be anywhere near him to get that flirt off. Contact happens. We're getting a pretty significant number of lowlights out of that, actually, so it wasn't great, but it kind of needed to happen at that point in time. 1 minute and 5 left on the clock and 2 missions to go.
And importantly, it looks like an assume real on the front conversation. So we are one of quite a few highlights, but a lot of scrutiny be applied to us. And unfortunately for us, now we're in maybe the same category as Duke and Kane, who've been watched all game. So, I mean, what could happen here is could be a purloin chain coming. So Wheels is a reject. Oh, we're not going to be in this chain, are we? Are we? Or yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if General's actually in that offer chain. If Smallman gets offered here and we get in this chain, that's actually one of the better chains we could possibly hope for. Oh, nope, Smallman takes. That chain is cut. I don't think we have purloin as an option now.
Oh, the timer's looking so bad. We're well into the beep beeps at this point. 15 seconds to play. I don't think there's a way we finish missions here. It's a white test on the purloin, and that's the nail in the coffin for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not even doing like a panic shot at this point, because I think Opie even knows that we're not even done with the fourth mission maybe. Maybe he assumed we had bug because we were near ambassador before. But yeah, the other thing is I think Opie knew something was up because General was at that painting pad forever before that request.
Yeah, he was. And like even still, it's nice to see the patience on that shot. There's no reason to try to snap something there, but not only did he not need to, like even if he did find a way to hit that green test, where's that last mission coming from? Is it just a desperation to try to get someone shot?
Yeah, I think that's why he actually waited to request, and that's why there might have been like a thing where he was hoping maybe Boots rejects, so that regardless, because if you wait for someone else to reject, then white or green, something could happen, and that let's say like Smallman also rejects. And we're able to get the Purloin and it's still white, but let's say Opie's not sure that it's white, kind of doubtful from the angle that he had. Opie probably has to make a snap decision because he'll assume it's the last mission between 3 characters. And maybe we have a good chance at winning there, even though we were so far behind.
Well, it's 2-0 for Opie at this point. It's a strong start for them as they step into the spy side of Modern with Rov on the sniper. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. And reminder, this is not SCL, so it's 4 of 8.
Yeah, and yes, it's not SCL, so it's 4 of 8. Although SCL might even be changing to 4 of 8, I hope, at least. And Opie, from what I said before, we are red dress. I would not be surprised if we try to blend in with red bookcase during this game. It even looked like we might have been angling for it, getting green time ad.
Green time ad. Another early green time ad. So that's a minute and a half on the clock.
Gotta add time for all the time it took you to get to the window anyways on Modern. So the first time ad is just making up for it. The second time ad is actually benefit. So
There's
the things that you get
flirt setup in conversation with the double agent as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume with the time ads, Opie is not gonna take this double agent, even though it's not a terrible BB. If he takes the BB now, he's probably gonna pay attention to the conversation movement right now, and maybe go for seeing who picks up inspects because you got more time, and you could do a more compelling frame, for example. Opie probably just isn't gonna take this because they want to use this time to get suspects going in the rest of the map. Because Modern in the late game, you actually start getting your attention split finally for once because of the returning statue visitors, because it's just such a common way for spies to finish is going to their second set of statues and either a Purloin going off during that time or going and getting a swap. So I think that is how Opie's going to play it. We'll see.
Really making good use of that time ad. Lots of idling out in the front. He had actually really good positioning in that conversation when compared to the seduction target, because 50% on the green flirt. Another flirt here at the bar now goes up to 81%. So almost any... Ooh, hits the difficult fingerprint as well. So that's going to be a nice little ace up our non-existent sleeve.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was curious to see if Opie's green test rate was going to be steady, given the fact that we had that red Purloin from before. Because that is unlike Opie to hit a red test, and usually Opie's got very consistent greens. So far, it's looked pretty good. This time was a white, but we didn't need anything better than a white. So because we're getting the fingerprint, that makes me think that we are going to go for either bug or Purloin plus fingerprint. Opie hates going for a pure. Okay, here it is. We are delegating to our seduction target and maybe just doing a contact right now to discuss. Yep,
that's exactly what's happening. The contact is off. Lots of lowlights, but here comes the Purloin. Flirt done. Contact done.
Oh,
picks up another difficult print at the red bookcase, but not able to get the Purloin off in time. It just barely doesn't come off.
Yeah, that's a bummer because I think that we would have been in just the right spot for the 10 seconds to elapse at least. Because I don't think Rob would have been looking for a finish now. But the good news is we are not among the top suspects. I don't know if Opie knows that though.
Yeah. All right, we go again. We've grabbed another drink and another delegate.
And right now would be delegating to an SDA. We have no idea that that would be the case, but actually that would be pretty great, I think. I do not think that, yeah.
SDA, yeah. Mission
And
win
he also chose a
pending.
fast person.
There's 2 people in line before, but we got that off soon enough that it shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, and this time I it's funny to me that he sent Taft because Taft is just so fast, and that this one will almost certainly come off. And I don't think that Rob is going to be watching this. Ambassador is also being threatened by Queen.
There's the Purloin. Oh, he is. Lowlights, but not convinced Opie could have finished. So he's going to let the time run out, and Opie gets another one. It's a 3-0 start.
Rob is going to be kicking himself for that one. So Rob actually responded in time and knew at least one of the primary people it could have been, and hesitated on just taking the shot. Obviously, that means we didn't know about the fingerprints, or we weren't keeping enough track of the fingerprints because it was 2 difficulties in a row. But that was winnable for Rob, but not quite confident enough to just take the shot.
2 difficulties in a row is so hard to credit, especially when neither of them are briefcase. Either way, it's Rob's time to shine from the spy side of things. We'll see if he can get himself on the board versus Opie's sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, and so sometimes Modern is one of those maps where there's kind of archetypes of games that are available to spies, and sometimes they don't do whatever the player before them just did. So I don't know if we'll see something like a trying to sneak by difficulties, just go for like kind of like a clean game like that, with including a Purloin and just getting a soft kill by them. So I am presuming we will not be doing that. Something that has gotten a lot more popular in Modern as of late is just a straight up frame. So we'll see if Rob is looking for something in that regard.
34% on the first flirt, and steps away to the bar shortly after.
I think, okay, so this is interesting. I'm wondering why we got highlight, but Pony didn't. Yeah, oh no, wait, there's the highlight on Pony. It just might have just taken a second. This is for fingerprint. That's what's going on for this one.
Back into conversation with the seduction target we go. Nope, actually bounces away.
Yeah, and Ponytail, if Ponytail had a fingerprint on the drink before them and wouldn't go for that briefcase, Ponytail could have fingerprints done, but it was also like the super AI version of fingerprints where they just go for back-to-back fingerprints of like briefcase into another fingerprint or fingerprint into briefcase, and spies generally don't like doing that, but if they are just willing to just be aggressive enough and say, hey, this is a super threatening but non-suspicious act, maybe you won't actually credit me as much and I'll seem like an AI.
Now we finally get back in for the second flirt. It's 68%, not able to hit either of those first 2 greens, which is a little bit unfortunate. Means we'll have to get nice and snuggly for the third flirt as well.
Yeah, and something that Opie had going for them in that last game is they one of the reasons they probably didn't get shot was because they had an extra minute and 30 from the double time ad before. Rav is so far playing a similar-ish game, but is not going to have the same sort of flexibility.
There's the contact coming off. There's 1, 2, I think 3 lowlights out of that, which is not bad, all things considered.
Oh, no, that's a great contact. Yeah, I totally agree. And also, we just happen to have, in the 3 conversations, there's an SDA sprinkled, 1 in each. Ooh, what was that off? Was that on Queen?
No, that was on Rav for this. It's this flirt that keeps eluding him. He keeps settling back into the same spot in the conversation, right next to his twin, which makes it fairly obvious what's going on.
Oh, he might not even
follows
get this.
To bar as well. There's the flirt done, but this is a scary situation.
Yeah, and what's also tragic about that is we almost even missed that flirt because if Twin didn't sip, we're just gonna shoot. Okay.
Yeah. Oh boy.
So this is one of the times in which the twin pairing. I don't know. I don't know if that's what happened there. So obviously that game was just we had 2 difficult fingerprints, both off of bar. We followed our seduction target a lot, and contact was actually just kind of sprinkled out everywhere. The contact I don't think was that suspicious, but Opie being willing to take an aggressive shot, not willing to risk a bug or something that they had missed.
On we go to Taeyen with OpiWrites sporting a huge lead over Rov. They start on the spy side, Rov on the sniper. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And Opie actually plays pretty well from leads a lot. I think that, Opie just, I'm using from a sample size of Opie usually doing very well in sets in general. But
Opie also plays very well from very far down.
It's true. I think actually the sets that Opie has lost have been like kind of like either a tight set or just like a couple games behind. Because it is true, he's had the biggest reverse sweep type scenario that I've ever seen in any competitive game. Or sorry,
the wrong arm bug coming across the back of the ambassador there between the conversations. That is absolutely textbook on this venue.
Yes, and so textbook, in fact, that we picked up a highlight for just the potential. That arm I don't think was seen at all, but just the path alone is almost like a soft tell at this point. And we pick up a highlight for it. One of only 4.
Also picks up the blue book and into conversation with the seduction target right afterwards. So 76% on the flirt, blue book in hand, and bug done already. 2 minutes and 27 seconds. 2 minutes and 20 seconds, left to play is pretty good time for OpiWrites, especially after that bug. There's the contact coming off as well.
Really aggro timing too, just going directly in, greeting, but not leaving. So I'm not sure if Rov will like that or hate that, or just basically not care and just credit Opie now for this. But we're going back and forth between these conversations a lot, and just kind of like, if we are looking at Orange Dress, this is pretty suspicious so far. I do not think that Opie thinks that they picked up any sort of highlight for that bug from earlier, because I think we're planning on dumping this book, and I think we will probably just die for it.
Yeah, Opie's playing really aggressive, which makes me very worried about this green bookcase. He's gonna have a go, though. Into the green bookcase we go. I don't see any reaction out of Rov. There's the reaction. There's the shot. And there's Rov finally getting themselves on the board. It's 4-1.
Was that a bad putback at all? Because, also, it's good. It was, okay. Because I was going to say, it could just be good sniper hygiene, right? I was watching someone stream the other day that if they just waited for 10 seconds after the book putback rather than staying there, a banana bread would have eliminated that person. So one, it's just a good habit not to, because then you can confirm. But it did look like that putback wasn't perfect.
Yeah. Either way, if Rov can come back in this game as well, find a win on the spy side here versus OP Sniper, they're pretty much right back in this set again. It was a rough start, but this could be the swing that they need in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And I think is this the identical shoji layout, I want to say. So far pretty fair. Yeah, I think it's the exact same shoji layout. So no complaints from the players on that, at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my, that was a lot of time of chaos that just happened.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's unclear to me whether or not Rov is the kind of spy that would really take advantage of the time of chaos. So the funny thing about time of chaos on Taeyen is that it's pretty chaosy, but it's also not really that important, because a lot of the time of chaos advantages kind of just remain true the entire game. Pretty much the only things you can get off in time of chaos is a bug. Maybe you try to rush down a purloin, but it's also really short on Taeyen. That's my other thing about Time of Chaos. So usually players don't do all that much Time of Chaos on Taeyen.
So into the statues we go early, pick up a pair of inspects, and a highlight after idling around the front window for a little while, the back window for a little while, which is interesting, possibly for a suspected time ad, but now is where we finally set up for this first flirt after trying to do it in Time of Chaos and not letting it happen. It is a green test, which brings us up to 51%, so that's nice.
Yeah, I actually am really curious what this highlight is for, because Opie does not highlight for one statue visit almost ever for partials. So that's not for that. And then, I guess it's just loitering and looking like you're spacing out some flirts. I don't know. But anyways, it looks like we're going to flirt, and then obviously at some point we're going to finish inspects. Unfortunately, I think Ambassador is picking up the statue that we inspected before. I could be wrong about that, but I think we picked up that back statue. So I don't think we can finish finish inspects and get a fingerprint at the same time if I'm right about the statue. Oh, I guess I can check.
Spent so much time in this conversation just for the selection target to bail right before the timer on the flirt runs out. That's a little bit painful, but at least... Well, I don't know if there's an at least, actually.
Mm-hmm. And...
Ooh, the snapback's there. A little reverse drive-by bug attempt on the way through, but gets caught out by OpiWrites. The shot comes off, and Opie retains that very significant lead.
Yeah, I want to see if that because Opie is very on top of snapbacks. So if I'm trying to see if any other character could have really gotten in the way of that. Not really. I mean, General's coming through a little bit later, so there was basically no cover for that. If the front conversation circle had someone in it where it could have blocked the snapback a little bit, I'm a little bit more okay with that. But Opie is going to look for those kind of bugs when they can, because usually you can't catch bugs that easily.
It wasn't really the snapback that was seen, I think. I think it was the elbow around the back. Either way, it was a nice little bug, but a very nice eye from Opie. That was not an easy bug to catch. But they were, in fact, able to do so. It's 5-1, the current scoreline, as we head into Library in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
All right, so I'm presuming we're going to see something rather aggressive out of Opie because one, it's Library, so it's already good to play nice and aggressive on Library, but especially with a lead, you're really freed up. I really actually love players playing with Abandon on Library. When there's tight sets going to Library, that's when just players make these awkward mistakes.
Speaking of playing with Abandon, what is that bug? He just walked up, hugged the man, and went back to where he started, completely off camera. That's such a bold move.
Especially considering the fact that you have to be really confident about that because of sniper laser delay, right? Opie had to be confident that they were not going to come check back real quick. And they did notice that where the position that Ambassador was in a spot where only people that are walking near them were going to be a threat. So Rav noticed no one's walking next to Ambassador. This is my prime opportunity to look away and see if anybody else is doing something else around the map. And Opie absolutely abuses it. Still got 4 more missions to go, but that is a great start.
68% on the flirt already, so... And it's leave and immediately come back to finish up this flirt quick. Out he goes again, just catching Rav sleeping, not moving around enough. Look at this!
Oh, it's Swiss swap.
And immediately out into center statues. This is probably going to be an inspect swap for the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, this is also going to be useful for Opie, where even if he loses this game... Oh, actually, Rob's camping a little bit. Rob's just slightly worried about this swap.
3 cycle.
We get the green.
Yep, does green it. It is a 3 cycle, but also it's the green swap. It's a good thing Rav was paying a bit of attention there.
So, okay, so is Rav going to notice the behavior of the opposite side of the map?
So
but it's tapped. It's tapped. It's tapped. He can't see it at all. He can't see it at all.
Large.
Oh, is he going to go?
Now he gets to look at it. Here's the shoot. He's looking for Opie. He sees the elbow, but doesn't get the shot off in time. Opie hiding behind the pillar held Rav up for just long enough. And this is 5 match points.
That is so painful for Rav. Like Opie, the thing is, like, so Opie kind of not, I don't want to say gave away, but played exactly like a spy would play after getting a green swap, and then they go behind the pillar, right? But you still want to confirm, right? Because it's Library, so you still want to throw away on just like a random thing that an AI happens to do. But I think that because we were waiting for that statue to come up, right? We weren't checking on to seeing where Ponytail was in order to snap back and shoot immediately. And just like the timing of that, Rob had to keep that in mind about how many seconds they had. And that's just, it's a little tragic. There was no shot on the clock, unfortunately, But man, Opie got away with it a little bit because Rob had the correct read on what was going on there.
Oh man. That was the fact that Rov wasn't able to get that shot off is just absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah. And it's funny because you don't get to pick who comes and grabs your statues. Taft is one of the best ones. Now, obviously, if his first cycle goes Simba style, goes straight up, it doesn't matter, right? It's going to be seen immediately. And Rov probably has enough time. But also, the side statue animation, Taft pretty much covers. Because for a lot of characters, it's pretty much only the holding in the center, right at torso level, is the one that blocks. But Taft kind of has two on library, so a little bit fortunate there. But Opie played that with that intent. Like that was exactly the game he was going to play. Was going to play something aggressive, dare Rob to shoot, and that was basically it. And so Opie, I think, is feeling really good. Obviously feeling really good, but I think absolutely feels in control. Even if this was like 6-3 or something, like quite a bit closer, I think Opie is feeling his play right now.
Absolutely in the driver's seat. Absolutely playing like he's in the driver's seat too. This man is not slowing down at all. 6-1 is the current score line. Best Rob can hope for is overtime, but first he's got to get there, starting from the spy side of library against an OpiWrites who is on fire in 3-2-1 playing it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, sniping, like this is like maybe the biggest test in the rest of this match, unfortunately, coming up to be, or I guess maybe fortunately or unfortunately, because, you know, if it's going to be the hardest map from here on out to win, I can't actually, is Veranda in the rest of the set? Veranda, I think, actually does appear in this set, so never mind.
Yeah.
But this is one of the biggest tests of anything remaining, and so Rob has to get past this hurdle now rather than later. It'd be kind of tragic to have to, like, you know, you've got like what 6 match points, and then one of them at the very end is just, oh, we could just snipe out on library and just get into kind of a relatively lopsided match. But here we have it, going in early. Hopefully Rob just takes a big risk because they're going to need a lot of luck to go their way to honestly finish this out.
Absolutely. 51% on the first flirt is nice, but has not been able to get much done after that. It is a 5 of 8 venue, so you do need to make pretty good time. This is a little bit farther away than you'd like it to be also, I think. I'm a little bit surprised waited so long to take this flirt, but it does come off cleanly. A white test to bring it up to 74%.
And I think did we do some request shenanigans in there? Because I think that we were kind of requesting, hoping that Toby would just happen to come in during one of Opie's rotations, but didn't happen. I think we might have kind of called that off a little bit. So I think we are going to go for a mid-game purloin, at least as our intent, which is a great way to play library, because if you can get away with a clean, you just kind of have this problem, but good problem of, okay, so what way do I want to finish so that the sniper's not going to take a desperation shot because they feel behind, or someone could just get shot because it's
that was a big action test, by the way. Seduction target drops in to say hi at basically across the conversation, and Rov hit the green test on the flirt to get that mission finished up in 3. Contact comes off as well, and that leads to like 4 lowlights, which is not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad.
It's weird because I feel like Opie didn't even check the far side, because I liked Rov avoiding going to statues. Because if you bail and you go to statue, sometimes you just want to get credit because that's something that spies would just do. Goes to a far pad with just another civ, not even the person they're flirting with, and then maybe when Opie comes over and we're standing there, we just get credited. But Opie just didn't really check that side, so we don't get a low light for it. But we're not going to be included in the people that could have gotten banana bread.
2 minutes to play. The clock is starting to become a little bit more problematic. We don't have any extra progress, just these 2 missions, the flirt and the contact. And Rov is really not looking like they plan on turning up the gas very much.
And unfortunately, we're not using some of the best opportunities we have. in Rob's position, they need to be seeing people that go to center statues or people that are visiting statues again. Actually, we have another shot right now. Rocker is at the statues on the far side. Opie is going to be looking for these, and we are going to purloin during this.
Green
Perfect.
purloin.
That is perfectly timed because Opie is desperate to see that statue from Rocker. And Rob should know that because Rocker was at center statues before and hovering their laser over a lot. So this is actually great for Rob. Now the problem is Rob hasn't shown that much rush yet. So I don't know if Opie's going to be tempted to shoot. And Rob actually has quite a bit left to do.
Not that much, though. Steps away with the green book. There's the purloin coming off. That was a long chain. And OpiWrites didn't get to see a whole lot of it. Into the blue bookcase we go! Rob gets low-lit! Rob gets low-lit. He's going to slam this blue book. It's just going to be one more mission and the ambassador's right here.
Yeah, so Rob, what are you worried? Because like the fortunate thing is Opie's kind of been lingering near Rob, but it's not for Rob. It's been for Bling Twin.
30 seconds.
Rob has just got to go to like center statues or something. It's just got to be done.
That's what it is. It's center statues.
So Opie could
green test on the
sniff
first
this
one.
out.
That covers it.
Okay, oh my god, is he going to be checking for the swap? He's looking at the swap, but I don't think he's going to shoot for inspects only. He can't 3-cycle. He can't 3-cycle.
It's okay. He green tested the first inspect. Rob is good. Rob has got the game on library in the waning seconds. That's 2-6. It's not much, but it's absolutely the start he needed.
Yes, and I'm really happy that Rob used the opportunity there because Rob actually was looking for that earlier, of trying to request during one of the rotations and just calling out. But Opie's rotations aren't going to be that sticky until late in the game when there's statue visitors that are threatening a swap finish, and then he's super sticky. Like actually, I'm almost shocked he wasn't able to confirm Rocker's statue quicker. He was looking at Rocker's statue for forever. And like, not only did we get the reject, we were gone by the time that Opie was able to check Purloin again.
Yeah, absolutely. But you mentioned how hard Veranda could be. He's got to get through the sniper side first, which should be the easy part on this venue, especially on 5 of 8. Let's see what they're able to make of this in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
So it's general, which makes me think that Opie's got a particular game plan going in that's going to include a bug and a swap block. And I think it's going to be really aggressive, really fast. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be that because sometimes people will sniff that out from general. It just kind of happens that on the maps that are harder for spies, they sometimes lean into the specialties of the characters a little bit more. So the maps where it's easier as spy, you don't need those margins for the characters as much.
Oh, I think that's exactly what's happening because we got... Oh, he saw it!
No, he saw it.
He saw the bug attempt!
I think he was happy about that.
A little bit of the helicopter there as the arm swings out, but that is a big win from the sniper side, and now the mental game for OpiWrites starts to get a little bit more difficult. It's 3-6.
It's true. I guess Rob didn't want to play. I'm surprised that Rob's laser was that happy. I guess Rob was not looking forward to Veranda, which can be tiring. It's a sniper dominant map, but you do actually have to use a lot of your mental energy. And so I think Rob, also at this point, is just going to be grateful that the scoreline's not going to be as bad as it was before. A 7-4 loss, even at this point, a 7-3 loss, isn't that bad, you know? It's not like a 7-1 where it's just going to haunt you. So I think he's just feeling great about that.
Absolutely. But this, as you were saying, this game is the big test for Rob. This is going to be the hardest spy game of the bunch. And when you're up against it, you don't want to have to deal with hard spy games. Let's see if Rob is able to get out of this one alive against OpiWrites, who is sniping for the win in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Sniping for the finals.
Indeed. And so we're going to get a quick flirt here. And then the question is really, how aggro are we going to be on Veranda to try to just get something crazy going? So the things that are similar with Veranda is that the second statue visitors, as the game goes along, start splitting the sniper's attention across the map a little bit more. Because right now, as long as they know what the statues are, they can deal with swap by simply highlighting. And then if there's a swap later, either just lowering it down to the highlights only or trying to recall who's there. Oop, another kind of ugly bug. It doesn't seem to be seen, though.
That was very stressful.
I'm actually surprised these bugs are coming off because Veranda has a very obvious best area to bug, and that's on the green/red bookshelf side. That's where you can get most of the bugs on the map. There's sometimes just great little combo bugs and walking bugs, but both of these last bugs are not using the useful part of the map. Opie really selling on a bug right now, and all we're getting out is a flirt, unfortunately.
84% on the flirt already. Blue book in hand. Oh man. Got a really quick start on the flirt, 51% at that far window. But
Yeah,
that bug really derailed things for me for a second there.
yeah, indeed. And we're timer flirting on this on this, and I'm not a fan of it just because it's really easy to just move around and get another flirt later on Veranda. At least I believe. So we're gonna have this flirt done, but then what? We still got 4 more missions, and we've been wasting quite a bit of time on the rest of this. We can't get Purloin. We have one side of our bug is gone. So while we are staying with this book that we probably can't transfer, we're just doing nothing, and it's just burning time. We're not really picking up as much info on the rest of the party because we're kind of blocked off from everything. I mean, we'll see what happens, but I think we're gonna go for a microfilm and action test.
Yeah, this has been just a really, really slow start from Rov, unfortunately. It's a green test on the time ad, so that is certainly nice, but it's just a shame they spent so much time not getting progress done. Because with 2.5 minutes left to play, and all we really have done in the flirt is the flirt, they're going to try to do something with this book, which is quite bold. We'll see if it pays off, but it's going to be scary.
Yeah, actually, if Toby leaves this area and Ambassador stays on their side, we might be able to go into the green bookcase and just dump it during a rotation from Opie, and then just hope he doesn't see it. Because if we go to another bookcase and it's seen, I think we're just dead. If he goes to a bookcase and Opie just notices that book is gone, I think Opie's got enough to watch that we might not have to worry about that. Unfortunately, Ambassador comes back over here. Oh, flash on Queen.
That's a good bounce. Sending the Ambassador right back the way he came, so we might be able to slip something in, especially at the red bookcase if the Ambassador gets really threatened.
And unfortunately, if we BB right now, it's going to knock out. Oh
There
no, it's
it
going to knock
is.
out Queen though.
There's the book going right back in. So a minute and a half
no.
to play. We've got the 3 missions done. We've got a big highlight, though. This is going to be so difficult to get these last 2 missions.
I think we're just totally dead like that. Unfortunately, when we noticed probably the worst part, which is the walking away kind of soon from bookcase, and we were already Irish at green. Banana bread had happened. If Opie remembered that Irish had been with a blue book any time before, I just think this is really bad. Ooh.
Oh, that was such a good bug attempt. If that had hit, that could have changed the entire complexion of the game. That double walking bug, though, can be so hard to hit, and unfortunately, Rov not able to make it happen. That was the chance. That was where it all could have turned around, but not able to get it done. 45 seconds left to play, and Rov has to duck into the statues to try to make something happen at the end of this game.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we're just gonna have to like green swap into something. Like we have these in specs, but I don't think we can even just do anything with this. I think we have to just try for a green swap here.
It's white.
It's white. We gotta run. Oh, we're just dead.
It's too late. He's here. We've been made. The safety's off. Rov not able to make it happen against the monster that has been OpiWrites tonight. And
Indeed.
OpiWrites books himself a spot in the finals.
Yeah, OpiWrites looking good there. Rov had a slight window. Did actually basically kind of make the best of that game after kind of burning too much time a little in the middle there, because I do think that was basically the right play. Unfortunately, Opie's top suspect Queen got knocked out during that, and so then Opie was looking for like a next top suspect, and then saw Irish walking away. So that game had potential. We did take 2 bugs. Neither of them got caught, and neither of them took. Either one of them taking, as you said before, could have changed the game. We probably would have gone for inspects rather than going for the swap, but not enough, and congrats to Opie.
Yeah, absolutely. Opie played a truly fantastic set of SpyParty just then. Whoever winds up facing this man is going to be in for a very difficult time.